Okay. Our last but not the least team is Team WAVED Medical. They are working on a patented technology that can impact breast health.
Hi everyone, I am Kendra Batchalter and I'm co-founder of WAVED Medical. We offer a risk assessment technology that identifies mammographic breast tissue that is more susceptible to cancer development in the future. Therefore, radiologists are able to identify young, high-risk patients that need preventative care to prevent the onset of breast cancer. 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. So out of these 8 women that I've shown here, the one all the way to the end was the one that developed breast cancer, and this is actually a close family member of mine. So radiologists have the extremely important task of detecting breast cancer as early as possible. One of the things they quantify is the amount of dense breast tissue present, which appears white on a mammogram. And they do this because the dense breast tissue is a risk factor for developing breast cancer. However, not all women who have dense breasts go on to develop breast cancer. So there must be some subset that is particularly risky. They also quantify existing breast abnormalities, but the problem here is that they also appear white. So radiologists are looking for a white abnormality in white breast tissue in 40% of all women screened. Right? That's extremely challenging for even the most experienced radiologist. So we take a different approach. What we do is we quantify the overall structural integrity of the breast tissue. And by doing that, radiologists can visualize how organized the breast tissue is and identify the risky subset of dense breast tissue that is more likely to develop into breast cancer. We can then quantify the amount of that risky tissue that's there to predict if the patient will develop cancer in the future. So this leads to improving radiologist diagnostic performance, which ultimately will reduce the workload for the radiologist and reduce hospital costs as well. So our software works by searching for these mammograms for a very subtle sign of being unorganized, okay? And then it displays the risk associated with that measurement that we calculate. So here I show you 2 patients, patient 1 and 2. They both have identical breast density scores, and they appear to have similar risk. Their first mammograms were read as negative. They went on to have 5 more negative screening mammograms. However, at their last visit, patient 1 was diagnosed with multifocal invasive ductal carcinoma grade 3, and patient 2 remained cancer-free. If we apply our technology to the patient's very first screening mammogram, you can see that patient 1 had high levels of risky dense breast tissue at her very first visit. And we would have ranked her as high and needing some type of supplemental support from a physician. So this really demonstrates how we are able to overcome the current reactive approach. Okay, so the current approach is to wait until there's a tumor there to do something. Okay, we don't wait to do something, we find the signs that precede the tumor. Right? So we can find those signs that are showing us that a tumor is developing. So that measurement really gives us a competitive advantage because it's explainable. So our competitors use what's called machine learning, which is unable to provide explainable measurements for the physicians. And it also requires a ton of data to be trained on. It's a long process and it's very expensive to do that. Some of our other competitors look for the existing abnormalities. We don't take that approach. However, we could complement their software and potentially enhance the performance of the software even more. So after speaking with 50 stakeholders during MIRTA, we have concluded that there's no software to help radiologists read these high breast density cases, even though they tell us that they're the most challenging cases to interpret. So we are going to enter the global computer-aided diagnosis market by offering our service to U.S. breast imaging facilities to analyze high breast density cases. From there, we'll expand into all breast density levels and also into 3D mammography and different types of cancers as well. So we will initially target 10% of our target market by partnering with CAD for mammography industrial leaders. These mammograms will be sent to our server. We will analyze them and send a report back for the physician to review. That means that each year we will generate about $64 million in revenue. MIRTA has allowed us to increase our technology and commercialization readiness levels as well. We have identified our first advisory board members, and we have submitted our paperwork to become a main LLC startup as well. We're just waiting for that to come back. We're also currently, as of last week, we started our National Science Foundation I-Corps program as well. So we're participating in that. We're also in the process of negotiating access to the IP from the university, and we're actively working with an FDA consulting firm as well with the help of ITRAP. We're in the process of preparing our STTR phase 1, where we're proposing a validation study, where those results will really drive our FDA approval process, where we will submit a 510K as a Class 2 medical device. So Dr. Cleo and I have been working together for over 10 years on this technology. We have published several publications over this software as well. And we have secured over $1 million in funding from numerous agencies and foundations for the research and development part. Now we're seeking funding to help with our MVP development, to further our customer discovery, start building our sales team, and also bring on a medical advisory team. But more importantly, we are in the process of transforming the standard of care for breast health. Okay, we really offer a personalized health solution for so many women globally. So as co-founder of WAVED, I ask that you share our mission and you share our service that we offer to improve the standard of care.